Keep going and going. Then at some point, you are lost in your thoughts and daydreams and don't notice that you have turned off the path and hit a brick wall. And it's a dead end. You need to do something to get yourself out of there because it's obstructing you from moving forward, isn't it? One option is to turn around and go back. Alternatively, you could try to climb over it or do something amazing and go through it, using magic outside of Hogwarts, so to speak. Just don't let anyone find out. The same thing happens when a creative block catches up with you. It's a kind of barrier on the path to your inspiration when the door to your inner creativity is shut. In other words, your muse has left you, and you no longer have the inspiration to create anything. This state might last days, weeks, months, and even years. Creative blocks can put the brakes on your life, your work, productivity, health, relationships, and well-being in general. And in doing so, cause you to feel irritated and dissatisfied with yourself, especially if your creativity supports you financially. No one is immune to them, though. One day you're producing brilliant ideas, then the next one starts with you feeling down and completely apathetic. Maybe it's the weather or Mercury is in retrograde. Who knows? Only one thing is clear. You're in a trap that you need to get out of. Inspiration is a capricious and very fickle thing. There are actually many reasons for a creative block, but they can all be split into two big groups: internal and external. Among external reasons, there might be ones that depend on some kind of external circumstances which you cannot change. The death of a loved one, or a separation, a loss of work, finances, a relationship, your home, or status. The various stresses that hound our every step, dependence on substances that awaken your creativity, alcohol, drugs, pharmaceuticals, and so on, as well as physical or mental illnesses and everything in this vein. Internal reasons are linked to us personally: a lack of self-confidence, fears and worries about the results of your activity, exhaustion due to intense work, the need for constant perfection, and dismissing what you actually have. The inner critic who is dissatisfied with everything, a sudden loss of the point and aim of your activity, and so on. So what can you do when you need to create something, but it just isn't happening for you? Are you listening closely? Great. Then there are a few ways to solve the problem. Firstly, attend cultural activities and events more often. Exhibitions, theaters, workshops, operas, concerts, and so on. A muse is a muse, but the experience is important in forming aesthetic taste. What's more, after events such as these, inspiration comes of its own accord. Like your appetite at mealtimes. Observe and feast your eyes on everything new and unusual. Take your powers of observation for a walk to places where you can indulge in aesthetics and beauty. Secondly, surround yourself as much and as often as possible with beautiful things. Collect books with beautiful graphics, jars of sand or shells, pretty stones, butterflies, stamps. Everything that gives you aesthetic enjoyment and that you are keen on. Thirdly, do something unconnected to your work. Take advantage of the break and switch your attention to other tasks: home repairs, visiting the doctor, tidying your apartment, cooking, and time for yourself. These things will distract you from depressive thoughts that all is lost and that inspiration will never return. Fourthly, the best rest and an effective way out of a dead end is a change of your environment. Change the picture in front of your eyes for a little while. Everyday life and routine can be oppressive and lead to the feeling of joy and happiness fading away. This is how your inspiration dies. Get out of your cave and take a walk around. Travel out of the city. Visit the forest and countryside. Let your brain rest and enjoy the beauty around you. Believe me, the solution to the problem that you've been struggling with for such a long time will come by itself. Finally, most creative people primarily work sitting down. As you are likely aware, mental work takes a great deal of energy, and it's best to mix it up with physical exertion. Physical activity, especially in the fresh air, improves your circulation and feeds the brain. So, after intense mental work, the best medicine isn't going to be sitting on the sofa in front of the TV, but a walk in the park or a bike ride. Yoga and meditation can also help to ease the tension. You're sure to have something that you will be keen on. The most important thing is to try it. Having listened to the end, you likely realize that there is no single solution to this problem. Sooner or later, everyone finds their own recipe for happiness to overcome a creative block. The main condition of the recipe is to rest, relax, and switch your attention to something else. I'd like to warn you, though, dear listener, about the one thing that you shouldn't do, even if you really want to, and even if it has helped certain people. And that's resort to alcohol or drugs. If you do this, you will only destroy your psyche and bring yourself a few steps closer to a deep depression, which will be very hard to get out of alone.